whoever fights with monsters must be careful not to become a monster as well. When you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss will gaze back into you. This striking thought from Nietzsche serves as a direct invitation to reflect on our own weaknesses. Perhaps, by avoiding the confrontation of our most difficult truths, we unknowingly become accomplices to what we fear the most. Nietzsche despised weak people, but not for the reasons you might assume. For him, weakness was not a physical or circumstantial condition, but a way of life, a state of self-deception, manipulation, and ultimately, a dangerous choice that sabotages our very existence. In this video, you'll uncover why Nietzsche held such disdain for this mindset, and how his teachings can transform the way you approach your decisions, your willpower, and even the pity you once felt for certain people. Get ready to challenge ideas, face hard truths, and perhaps redefine how you see yourself. Philosophical exploration. Nietzsche believed that weakness often stems from dishonesty with oneself. It's as if a person creates a shield to avoid confronting their truths and inner challenges, which in the end only hinders their growth. Imagine someone who never admits their mistakes. Within this reflection, such denial would reveal itself as precisely that, a fear of evolving. When he associates weakness with the inability to act, Nietzsche prompts us to reflect. How many times have you refrained from doing something out of fear or lack of confidence? This kind of weakness not only corrodes relationships, but also undermines our ability to trust ourselves. With this in mind, a good idea might be to accomplish something simple today, like organizing a space or starting a new habit. After all, great journeys begin with small steps. On the other hand, he also points out that weakness is fertile ground for dishonesty. People who avoid confronting their limitations often create narratives to justify their inertia. This begs the question, is the world truly unjust, or are we just deceiving ourselves? This provocation paves the way for the next topic. What does it really mean to be strong and live with integrity? Analysis of strength and weakness. For Nietzsche, weakness is not merely the absence of physical strength, but, above all, the inability to be honest with oneself. Picture someone who constantly sabotages themselves, saying, "It's not the right time," or "I'm just unlucky in life." These excuses at their core serve as a shield to avoid confronting their own limitations. Strength, on the other hand, is far more than courage or endurance. Nietzsche defines it as the foundation of true kindness and joy. Strong individuals don't need to dominate or deceive others. They live in alignment with their values. A clear example is someone who, even amidst hardships, finds the energy to help others without expecting anything in return. This contrast between strength and weakness reveals how these traits shape our character and choices. When we embrace our weaknesses and transform them into lessons, we achieve genuine growth. However, this demands an active stance, a willingness to change. It's like learning to play an instrument. Every wrong note is part of the progress toward mastery. Speaking of progress, let's explore figures who embodied these concepts, such as Napoleon and Dostoevsky, literary and historical examples. Nietzsche saw weakness as a thread connecting dishonesty to nihilism, and historical and literary examples illustrate this concept perfectly. Dostoevsky, for instance, delves deeply into the complexities of human nature, portraying characters consumed by resentment and unable to confront the truth of their circumstances. In Notes from Underground, the protagonist chooses to lose himself in rationalizations rather than face his own powerlessness. In history, Napoleon serves as a striking contrast between strength and weakness. His rise was fueled by an almost superhuman determination, yet his downfall revealed the dangers of a misdirected willpower. Nietzsche might have seen in him a lesson. True strength is not only demonstrated in achievements, but also in the wisdom to acknowledge and navigate one's limitations. These reflections connect to what Nietzsche considered the greatest danger of weakness: nihilism. When we refuse to confront our limits, we often fall into a denial of values and life itself. This idea resonates in how we perceive leaders or historical figures who fail when they disconnect from their foundational principles. What these stories teach us is that real strength lies in internal organization and self-mastery, a theme we will explore further in the next discussion: willpower and internal control. For Nietzsche, an organized willpower is like an internal compass. It guides us through chaos, aligning our desires with our actions. Without this organization, we are like a ship adrift, carried away by the winds of chance. Think of it like making a cup of tea. Having water and leaves isn't enough. You need a method to transform the ingredients into something that nourishes and warms. The same logic applies to life. The disorganization of will, in his view, is a direct reflection of weakness. When we don't know what we want, every distraction seems like a destination. It's akin to starting multiple tasks, but finishing none, a confusion that drains our energy. A practical way to combat this is by setting small, daily goals, such as completing a reading or tidying up a space in your home. Nietzsche reminds us that true strength is built through the repetition of simple acts. This internal control not only fortifies us, but also equips us to face external challenges. Obstacles cease to be enemies and become opportunities for growth. Picture an athlete training for a marathon. Every kilometer they conquer is a testament to their willpower and resilience. This strength is what shields us from philosophies that glorify weakness, keeping us grounded in a life guided by intentionality and purpose. Philosophical impact. Nietzsche argued that philosophies rooted in weakness corrupt essential social values. He saw manipulative pity as a prime example, helping others not to uplift them, but to subjugate them and perpetuate their dependence. Genuine compassion, on the other hand, is an act of strength, as those who help without ulterior motives empower both themselves and others. Think of the contrast between offering sincere support and using a favor as a tool for control. He also explored how these distorted values shape entire societies. When weakness is glorified or overly accommodated, we lose the drive to strive for something greater. Nietzsche contrasts this with philosophies that encourage autonomy and personal growth, challenging us to ask, are we truly cultivating our strength, or are we settling into our comfort zones? A thought-provoking exercise would be to identify areas in your life where you feel stagnant and take small yet meaningful steps to reverse that inertia. This impact extends beyond the individual to the collective. Societies that embrace manipulation and conformity lose the vital energy that drives progress. This is why Nietzsche emphasized the importance of solid, authentic values. However, achieving this strength requires internal balance, as we've discussed, and a deep understanding of how weakness and nihilism intertwine. By embracing such reflections, we not only reclaim our individual strength, but also contribute to a culture that values resilience and authenticity over dependence and complacency. And now that you've explored Nietzsche's philosophy, the question remains, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you continue avoiding your weaknesses or use them as a springboard for self-development? Think carefully. True strength is born from an honest confrontation with reality. So, what will your next choice be? Will you take action or remain stuck in the cycle of self-sabotage? Remember, no one is born strong, but everyone can become strong. Start small, organize your thoughts, align your goals, and, most importantly, question your beliefs. Share your thoughts in the comments. What resonated with you most? Let's exchange ideas and grow together. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep diving into topics as profound as this one. Since you've made it this far, take a moment to click on the suggested video on your screen. I'm confident it will be just as transformative as this one.